This is Let's Talk Chattanooga Real Estate, the podcast where we cover home buying, home selling, home improvement tips and ideas, market trends and developments, and investing in real estate. If you own real estate in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, or want to own real estate here, then you're in the right place. Let's Talk Chattanooga Real Estate is hosted by Blake Watson, a real estate agent and investor in Tennessee and Georgia.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Chattanooga Real Estate. I'm Blake Watson with Epic Realty, and today we're going to be talking about something very important if you are looking to buy your first home in the Chattanooga area. Actually, in Chattanooga specifically. I have a guest with me today from Highlands Residential Mortgage, Don Oakes.
Good to be here.
Welcome to the show, Don.
Thanks.
Don, we want to talk today specifically about a special program that's available to folks who are buying a home in the city of Chattanooga, literally in the city limits. That program is a down payment assistance program. Can you just kind of give us a general idea of how this came about and what it's about?
One of the big hindrances is for people getting in that first home is, gosh, I have to come up with a down payment.
Right.
And then there's closing costs too. What are closing costs? Why do I have to pay those? And so how can you overcome that? And Tennessee Housing Development, which has been around for many, many years, to step in to that category and will grant a first-time buyer money for the down payment and or closing cost. So typically on a Tennessee housing loan, which is anywhere in the state of Tennessee,
okay,
somebody, if you structure it properly, can get into a house for zero or close to zero to overcome that. It's been very successful over the years. It's what we call in the business a bond program. So the money comes from people buying those bonds. You know, I'll invest in people. I'm investing in as a bond, and I know I'm going to get a return on this. And it's typically a below market interest rate. Like today, Tennessee Housing is 6.125, which is well below market today.
Right.
And the reason I'm going into Tennessee Housing, Blake, is because this program works in conjunction with Tennessee Housing that we're going to talk about.
Got it.
So there's also the first responders segment of Tennessee Housing, which will also apply to this Chattanooga program.
Yeah, right.
First responders is described as you would imagine, firemen, policemen, etc., EMTs. And they have added teachers to that.
Wow.
So in some way, I guess they are first responders. I don't know.
Well, they're taking care of our kids.
They're taking care of our kids, and that's in an emergency. But you get a 0.5% better interest rate. So today you could get 5.625 first responder program, Tennessee Housing, anywhere in the state of Tennessee. So that's kind of the basis of that, and it helps those people, again, get into that first house. We did one last week, that was Tennessee Housing. So, it's out there and available.
As a realtor, we call it THDA, and I'm sure you do.
Right.
In the industry, we call it THDA, but that's what it is, Tennessee Housing. And as you've actually explained where the money comes from, too. It's a bond-backed program. So people are actually investing. This is not tax money, I guess.
Right.
That's a great thing to know. And then this preferred interest rate is great. I mean, below market interest rate for everyone that uses this program.
Yeah.
And then an extra bonus discount on the interest rate for first responders and teachers.
Correct.
And that's statewide. Anywhere in the state of Tennessee.
That program's been around, I want to say 40 plus years, Blake. Something like that.
And I know Georgia has a program called Georgia Dream.
Correct.
That may have some similarities.
Very similar. Okay. Very similar.
So that's good to know as well.
Yeah.
If somebody's listening and they're thinking, I'm going to buy in Georgia, then they have an option.
Right.
They could still talk to you about that.
They could still talk to us about that.
Exactly.
And I don't want to confuse matters because, again, we're going to talk about the Chattanooga program, but there's also rural development, RD, as we say in the business, USDA, all the same thing. That is, they define a rural area, but even in Hamilton County, think of the northern and far eastern parts of Hamilton County. So Soddy Daisy works for RD, that get very similar to Tennessee Housing, but in a situation, it could be a better deal for somebody than Tennessee Housing. So we just have to look at options on rural development.
Yeah.
So
I noticed basically Appison is part of that program as well.
Yes.
It looked to me, looking at the map, it looked like everything basically east of Udawa-Ringgold Road for the most part.
Yes.
Is qualifying.
And Saudi Daisy and North, all that Sail Creek, all that works. And then if you think of, it's not territory specific to Tennessee or anything. It's, anywhere in the country that they define as a rural area. So if you're thinking of North Georgia, just think basically of the southern half of Walker, Dade, and Catoosa counties. And that works with rural development. So there you go.
So that's a whole nother thing.
Thing. I don't want to confuse them. I'm just saying that program is out there too. And then also Highlands, along with a lot of other lenders, has another zero down payment assistance program that's totally separate from all of these, more relaxed credit guidelines.
Okay.
Definitely no income limitation to that. But it's a higher interest rate. So, we closed 2 of those last week. So it's not just Highlands. Other lenders are going to have programs like that also.
So tell us about Chattanooga.
So pretty new. They announced it a couple of months ago, and it just went into effect June 1. So this program is active. And it's, you're tying it to Tennessee Housing. And so sometimes there's a gap between what Tennessee Housing can do and what somebody needs to get into that house cash-wise.
Okay. So
let's, as an example, take a $300,000 house. And the normal down payment on an FHA loan is $10,000 some odd dollars.
Okay.
$10,500, to be exact, which Tennessee Housing can loan you the bulk of that. But that still leaves closing cost.
Oh, right.
Of about $10,000.
Okay.
So then, if you can't negotiate for the seller to pay that closing cost for you, sometimes you can, as you know, as a realtor, and sometimes that's harder to do. You might have to overbid to get the house. Sometimes, too, that there's kind of a more restrictive debt ratio calculation for Tennessee Housing. Sometimes a lot of people are really close to that, and so you can't up the price of the house to cover it. So this is where this Chattanooga program will step in, and they will grant you up to $11,000.
Okay.
After they came out with the program, they kind of tweaked those numbers because Tennessee Housing will now grant you $10,000, up to $10,000 on a no interest, no payment grant. All that happens is whenever you sell the house, you got to pay that back, unless you stay in that house 30 years. We've been in our house 40 years. That's unusual.
Yeah, but you would have done it.
Stay in the house 30 years, it's forgiven. Totally.
How about that? Yeah.
So
you don't even pay it back.
You don't even pay it back.
There for the full
there's
30.
no interest, no payment. So, Tennessee Housing will grant you $10,000, and City of Chattanooga will grant you, under same circumstances, no interest, no payment, up to $11,000. So you've got every penny of that cash required is covered under that circumstance.
The $10,000 down payment, the $10,500 or whatever it was. Yeah,
yes,
wow.
Yes. So in both cases. So the goal, again, is get people into that first house. Statistically, they become better citizens. I want to put it that way. And it adds to the economy, yet somebody else that's having to buy stuff for that house, as somebody else that's paying, taxes on that house. So everybody wins when you get somebody into that house.
Yeah, that is a general understanding of society, is that if you can own, or at least have the opportunity to own your house, then you're going to be a better citizen. Yeah. And that doesn't.
Not to say renters aren't. I mean, as I was saying that, I thought, well, how do I have to qualify this?
I think the idea is because you're committed, perhaps more so, to that specific piece of land.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And
committed, that's a good word.
I think that committed is probably the word. Because, we both have rented in the past.
Yes.
And, you're there and you take care of where you live and you are involved in that community. But you also have the option of just picking up and walking away and going living somewhere else. Yeah. And that's a little harder if you own the place.
Right.
I don't think it's a dig against renting.
No.
Definitely not. This is really neat. So this particular program is like add-on, fill in the gap to
fill
help.
Exactly. Okay. That's exactly what it's intended to do. And so, again, City of Chattanooga is saying up to $11,000 because it's a companion program to City of Chattanooga saying up to $11,000. Tennessee Housing is saying $10,000 as a grant. Now, you can get up to $15,000 from Tennessee Housing. But that flips to a different kind of loan. They will loan you the $15,000 and you have to make payments on it. So,
I see.
So you can get more. And Tennessee Housing, here's the differences. So without trying to confuse the matter, Tennessee Housing just increased the amount of maximum loan to $500,000. And you're thinking, good gosh, this is a first-time buyer house, $500,000? Yes.
I'm sure in some areas.
The City of Chattanooga program caps it at $400,000.
But, that's $350, $360 is going to be a very
fine for
reasonable
this program.
price.
Yes.
And that's all well under $400,000.
It's all well under $400,000.
Yeah.
Now, there also is an income cap because they don't want, neither Tennessee Housing nor the City of Chattanooga wants somebody who makes $200,000 or $300,000 a year using this. They don't really need this program.
Right.
Let me rephrase that. They shouldn't need it. They should have
if
some
they're managing
savings.
Their funds.
If they're managing their money, they shouldn't need this program. It's, again, first-time buyer, and this are some income caps. And those numbers are slightly different. So Tennessee Housing's income cap is slightly higher than the City of Chattanooga, the way the City of Chattanooga calculates it. But I think $80,000 to $90,000 typically, because it depends on 1, 2, 3, or 4 people in the house for the City of Chattanooga program. Mm-hmm. And Tennessee Housing, again, calculates theirs a little differently about number of people in the household. But so, if you're making $130,000 or something a year.
Yeah, it's a little over.
It's a little over.
Yeah.
Not if you're in Williamson County, but we ain't Williamson County.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
But sorry.
If you're in Chattanooga.
Yes.
Typical, you said $80,000 to $90,000.
Yeah, you're going to be fine.
Is that a household income?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Which is, there's plenty of people in that range.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of people in that range that would like to own a house. And this is a great way to help give them that boost.
There's a credit score minimum of 640.
Okay.
So, again, if somebody's wondering, there's 2 things you can do. You can go to annualcreditreport.com, which I've talked about many, many times. It's the requirement that the federal government put on the repositories, the 3 national repositories, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, to let people see their credit report with no fee once a year. Yeah. So you can do that. You can go and it's mycreditreport.com. Go to that and you can get it for free. Now, they do charge a fee for you to get a score. You can see your credit report. You can see everybody that's reporting on your credit, but you can see your score, but they're going to charge you a fee to do it.
Right.
It may or may not be worth it. So 640 is a minimum score. 2 things might happen. We'll show you, well, here, do this or do that. Let's play the game. Pay down this credit card, get another credit card, whatever, to get your score up, and you'll be okay. Or if it's something that's horrible, like a recent collection, you forgot to pay a doctor's bill and they've turned it over, call them, see if they'll delete it, which 90% of the time they will. You can even settle for maybe half of what they're reporting. That comes off your credit, your score goes up, immediately. So things like that. And if it's harder still, like you've had late car payments or something, then we might want to look at that other down payment assistance program we've got, which is more flexible on the credit score.
Gotcha. But for this particular program with the city, 640 is what we need.
640 is what we need.
There are plenty of people who have a 640 or higher.
Yes.
I do know that.
Yes.
Then there's the income limits that you mentioned. And I guess, are you going to need years of income like a typical, you've still got to qualify for a mortgage. What are some of the things that you'd be looking for a first-time home buyer? Because this is a first-time home buyer program.
Well, let's take that teacher as an example.
Right.
Okay.
Great
so
example.
they've just started teaching. Let's say they're starting in the new school year.
Yeah.
In August, but they've been in school and they've got their teaching certificate. They're ready to go. They need to be on the job a month, and we're good.
How about that?
Because we can show they've been in training, they've been in schooling to take this job. So same thing would apply to any kind of professional, like let's say it's a dental hygienist, whatever you want to take. Somebody's been in training for that. Let's take a fireman or policeman, again, as a first responder. Yes, they've been in another job before they've taken this job. As long as there's not a gap there, we can show we're good.
So gaps are not a good thing.
Gaps, and they're flexible. If it's a month, we're fine. But if it's like 3-month gap, it's like, what were you doing in that?
How are you paying your bills?
How are you paying your bills? Were you really looking for a job? Anyway.
That's true. And the first-time home buyer, it's not always what we think, which is literally someone who's never owned a home. what's the proper definition?
As long as you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years. So the question also comes up, well, the deed to a property is in my name, but I never really lived there. It was, Aunt Susie added me to the deed.
Oh, wow.
Because, or my grandma added me to the deed. Well, you now qualify as a homeowner. So you can't have owned a home in the last 3 years.
Gotcha.
If that,
So you don't need to be on a deed of any sort, whether you lived there or not.
Right.
Gotcha.
So that's what they're looking for.
But then I also know there's going to be folks who've had life circumstances that maybe they did own a home and now they don't, and they haven't owned one in several years because...
And they're okay, as long as it's more than 3 years.
More than 3 years?
We're okay.
Might as well be a first-time home buyer.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So, Don, is there anything else that you think we need to know about this?
They want a buyer, that first-time home buyer, they're going to have to take a home buyer course, which is a good thing. Tennessee Housing requires that also.
Absolutely.
So it's the same course. I mean, you just take it once. You don't have to take it for each
right,
program.
Sure.
They want a home inspection, which makes sense.
Okay.
Because that buyer's getting that into that house for zero. They've never owned a home before. Yeah, they've taken a home buyer course. That's great. But they don't need to go into that house. It's like, oh my goodness, now we got to fix the plumbing. The refrigerator just went on the fritz. That's $1,000. Where am I going to get that kind of money? So the home inspection will let everybody know, hey, these are potential problems with this house. If it's minor problems, you can handle that. But if there's something that's major, a home inspector is going to check that out. Tennessee Housing does not require that. Any lender typically is not going to require that. This Chattanooga program does require that.
Interesting. Okay.
So the only other thing is it does require, I said it's zero down, it does require a $1,000 investment from the buyer. But usually you've got to put earnest money down on a house. $300,000 house we talked about at the beginning of it, maybe it's $500. That goes towards that $1,000. The lender's going to order an appraisal and charge you for what the appraiser charges. For us, that's $565. That counts towards that $1,000.
Okay.
And you're going to get a home inspection, and that might be $400 or something like that. That counts towards that.
Okay. All
so
those things.
As long as you've got $1,000, you're going to get your earnest money back at closing.
Okay.
So in that example I decided, you might have $1,500, but you only have to have $1,000, so you can get that $500 earnest money back in that example.
That's pretty extraordinary. I mean, when you think about renting, if you're coming from a rental situation where you've been renting, you're probably paying more than $1,000 a month already.
Yeah.
And then if you can actually move into ownership, of course, the payments are probably going to be well over $1,000, but they may not be. That's pretty amazing, though, that you can still pull that off without a whole lot of cash in hand. That's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point. It lets you get into a home and own it without a lot of stacked up cash that you've been saving up for years.
And it's not free money, but it's dang close.
Yeah, I get that. It's not free. Like you said.
And let's take that $300,000 house, and let's say that you did structure it where you got into it for zero, except for the $1,000 commitment that we were just talking about. And let's say 10 years from now, for whatever, so your kids, I didn't know I could have this many kids. Maybe I need a bigger house, or maybe you need to move, out of town, and so you're ready to sell that house. Well, that $300,000 house 10 years from now would be worth. Give me a number. Boy.
I'm going to say 400.
400,
probably more.
The fact that you're paying back 10 to THDA and 10 to the City of Chattanooga, who cares?
That's exactly right, because you have gained that
You've gained equity both ways. Mortgage balance maybe is $280 or whatever at that point in time.
That's
so
true.
You're really still netting probably $100,000 when you walk away from that house.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole, I don't want to call magic, but it's the whole wonder of buying a house and building wealth through ownership
every month
of a home. Every month. Yes. Absolutely. You're right. As far as whether you have to pay back that down payment assistance or not, that really only becomes an issue if you turn around and need to move out in a couple of years or something, right? But if you stick around even 5 or 10 years, it's a non-issue.
Right. Yeah. Right. And if you're there 30 years, it goes away.
It goes away. And you have beat the system.
Along with your youth and vitality, it just goes away.
That's right. Well, Don, thank you so much for coming and being on the show and explaining this stuff to us. I know you have a lot of other programs and a lot of other opportunities. First-time home buyers, I would certainly encourage a first-time home buyer to contact me and contact you. How would they do that, Don?
Highlands Mortgage at Highlands with an S, mortgage.com, or I'll give you a phone number. Just be anybody just still call. 423.
They may text you. I don't know.
Yeah, 624-0448.
624-0448. Okay, well, thank you so much. And if you need to contact me as a realtor to help you find that house that's less than $400,000 in the city of Chattanooga, or another house in any of these other fine areas around Chattanooga, then certainly contact me, Blake Watson. I'm with Epic Realty. My phone number is 423-315-1815. I do try to respond to phone calls and texts, so I take them both.
Okay.
Of course, you can find my website at homechattanooga.com. That's at homechattanooga.com, and you can find me on social media, Facebook and LinkedIn as Blake Watson, and Instagram, where it's Rock and Roll Blake. Hey, my brokerage is Epic Realty. The phone number there is 888-893-3537. And Don, thanks again so much for being on the show.
Good to be here.